Hello, I'm Jim Hatch. I'm the Chief Technical Officer for Insurity, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about the future of technology in the property casualty industry and how we are looking at reacting to that and what we think are the important things that folks in the industry need to pay attention to over the course of the next 3 to 5 years. So we've come up with this concept called Mobile Up Smart Apps. We're going to design from the mobile side and move it upward in the chain. When we did that, we came up with some rules. We said 20% of whatever somebody does, they have to be able to do from their home screen. Just like the home screen on their phone, the home screen on their tablet, the home screen on their desk now. They ought to be able to do most of the big chunk of their work right there. 50% of their transactions, they have to do with one click. People have no patience. They don't want to be clicking through menus. They don't want to be trying to tab through or swiping through or whatever else to get to other places to do what it is that they want to do. And then there's probably 20% of those things that need another click. So you're looking at a situation where 90% of the activity that somebody is going to do to get their job tasks done are done within 2 clicks. That's an enormous change over the way we've typically designed systems as an industry. There are still, and I'll admit it, there are still some transactions that do not translate well to the small screen. That's that 10% though. And one of the failings of our industry is that we focus on those 10% transactions and we design our systems to handle the 10%, and as a result, all of the rest of the work we do ends up having that same style, the same look and feel, and it's huge density. And that's really the key. It's the simplification of the applications. So we design our applications in a more simple, streamlined model for a tablet. We get to scale it up to a desk or scale it down to a phone, but it's the same look, feel, style, functionality across all the platforms. So no matter where you are, you're still doing the same kind of thing and you're interacting with your application the same way. That's a huge productivity business. So if we can break down that complex business into those simple steps, we can now start to create little widgets, little apps, just like on your phone, and we build a large system out of those widgets. And so we came up with 3 different kinds of widgets. We have these informational widgets, which take care of telling you what things are, what's the status, what's going on. That's about 20% of the work. 50% of those things are actually going to be done through these things we call process widgets. They actually do stuff. You can set a reserve, you can make a payment, you can change somebody's address on a policy. You can do something with those. And then there's these other 30% of these things that we call detail widgets, because those ones are the ones where I'm going to dive in deeper. And they may not, in fact, be ones that ultimately end up on a smartphone. They probably can be handled by a tablet, and they'll also be able to be available at the desktop. So you've got these different kinds of things and different objectives of what these widgets are, but now I start to glue them together, and what do they look like? So an informational widget is a little small snapshot. What's this policy look like? What are the coverages on it? Who's got it? It doesn't take a 21-inch monitor to show me what that policy's coverage looks like, yet we do that. We will consume that today. It doesn't take 52 fields to pay a claim. Most times, I only need to know who I'm paying, what I'm paying it for, and how much am I paying it. Let the system worry about how it's going to go out and what the address is and what the bank account number is and everything else. Even when I get into the details, I don't need generally, most of the time, the level of details that we typically put together on a large desktop screen. We need some consolidated view of that, because that's that 30%, that 20%, 30% of the extra stuff. And then there's a few that need the big screen. And we'll deal with those few with something that's outside the widget model. When I get out of that and I actually go to the detail, now I can look at something like this. Here's the claim desktop. So for a specific claim, what's it going to look like? Well, now I want to know what's going on with that claim. So I have a little claim snapshot. I can see the latest thing. I can see where I am in the process of handling that claim. I also have a little snapshot, a little informational widget that tells me what the policy coverages are, right? And I can take a look at the stuff and go, hey, this is all pretty cool, but it's not enough. And that's right. But just like on your smartphone or your tablet where you can swipe to another screen, you can do the same thing here. This single screen isn't enough for somebody to do all the job of handling a claim. So what do I do with the rest of the stuff they need? Well, it's just like a tablet, just like their phone. They can swipe to the next screen. And so they swipe over there and you can see other widgets that they have available for them. Pretty cool stuff. So what do we think is coming as a result? We think we've just taken Dad's Oldsmobile and we've turned it into the kids' Tesla. Because really, that's what we want. We want that new, we want that passion, we want that energy, we want that thing that grabs them and says, come to work here, make this place your home.